Okay, let's just get right into it. We're going to completely transform how you think about prior art. For anyone in biotech, you know this. It's like this constant threat that can just kill your patent overnight. But by the end of this, I promise you, you'll know how to turn that threat into your most powerful strategic tool.
So, this whole thing kicks off with a true story of failure. I mean, it's a moment every innovator just dreads, right? Imagine, you've spent months, maybe even years of your life on this breakthrough pathway, only to get an email like this in the middle of the night, telling you it's all been done before.
And this really just captures the stakes perfectly. We're not just talking about the science here. We're talking about real investment. All that time, all that energy, and yeah, all that money, it can just evaporate. Just disappear in an instant because of this thing called prior art, which is basically just publicly available info that proves your brilliant idea isn't actually new.
All right, so to avoid that gut-wrenching fate, we first have to understand the threat. And here's the kicker. The most dangerous prior art, it's often hiding in places you would least expect. It's way beyond just a simple patent search.
So here's secret number one, and it's a huge blind spot for so many people. The thing that kills your patent often isn't a direct competitor's patent. No way. In the story that actually inspired this whole explainer, it was a single sequence in a public database. You combine that with one other paper, and bam, that was enough for the patent office to say their engineered enzyme was obvious. Game over.
Secret number two. This one really just comes down to discipline. You know, in the rush to share exciting results, we can end up sabotaging our own patent application. That presentation you uploaded, that preprint you shared on bioRxiv, an examiner can, and believe me, will, use it against you. The rule here is so simple. File first, then share.
Okay, secret number three is a more subtle trap. We tend to see regulatory documents from, say, the FDA or EMA as being about safety, right? Not novelty. But here's the thing. These filings create a public record of what's considered routine for someone in the field. And that, well, that gives an examiner the perfect ammunition to argue that your big breakthrough was just, optimization, not a real, true inventive leap.
Okay, enough about the problem. Let's get to the solution. Let's see how all this builds into a proactive strategy. And look, you don't need to be a patent attorney to protect yourself. It starts with a simple, super powerful filter you can use in less than a minute.
So before you spend $1 single on legal fees, just run your idea through this checklist. Number 1, have you publicly disclosed any enabling detail? 2, is there a similar pathway already out there in a prior patent or paper, even if it's in a different host? 3, could a skilled person, piece this together from 2 or 3 existing papers? Be brutally honest with your answers here.
And here's how you interpret the results. Now, look, this is not legal advice, obviously, but it is an incredibly powerful sanity check. If you got 0 yes answers, that suggests you're in a really strong position. But 3 or more? Whoa, that is a major red flag. It's a signal to just pause, take a breath, and rethink before you commit a ton of resources to a filing that might be doomed from the start.
So why is that 60-second check so vital? Well, because ignoring those warning signs, ignoring prior art, has a very real and often surprisingly high price tag. Let's actually look at the numbers.
Let's start with just the entry fee. Just to file a provisional application, basically to secure your spot in line with the patent office, you're already looking at anywhere from $3,000 to $7,000. And believe me, this is only the beginning.
Yeah, from there, the costs just escalate. To file a full, non-provisional patent, that's the one that actually gets examined, the investment jumps to over $25,000. This is where the real fight begins. And what if you want to go global? Protect your invention in key markets across Europe and Asia. The total investment can easily cross 6 figures for a single invention. Suddenly, that early sanity check starts to look pretty valuable, doesn't it? I mean, just look at how these calls stack up. Each stage, the US provisional, then the non-provisional, the European filings, all the translations. It just adds another layer of cost. And remember, every single rejection from an examiner and every single response you have to file, that adds to the bill. This is exactly why that early prior art analysis isn't just a scientific step, it's a critical, money-saving measure.
So what happens when you do get that brutal rejection? Well, this is where we see how prior art can actually become your ally. It lets you step back and make a strategic decision, not just an emotional one.
This chart basically shows that the smartest move isn't always to just fight harder. It's really about knowing when to pivot. If the prior art proves your core concept was already out there, the best decision, the smartest decision, is to stop spending money defending it. Instead, you pivot to a new application based on what you've now learned from that process.
So ultimately, this is the question I want you to take away from all this. Is your prior art an ambush waiting to happen? Or is it an ally? Will you let it be some costly, late-stage surprise that just blows up your project? Or will you use it from day one as a strategic guide? Something that helps you design better experiments, draft stronger claims, and ultimately build way more valuable intellectual property. The choice, really, is yours.